Good afternoon. As most of you know, I don't work on a Friday afternoon, so I'm having a beer. Unfortunately, it's not local Cornish beer. So for the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to be talking about online marketing, and in particular, I'm going to be taking a look at search engine optimization with a very definite slant on Google. For those of you who aren't aware of what search engine optimization is, it's the process of changing your website, promoting your website, changing the structure, wording, everything you need to do to try and get yourself found in the search engines. So we'll be looking at key phrases, we'll be taking a look at website structure, we'll be taking a look at content, links, and then as Malcolm's just said as well, some of the measures that you've got available with some of the analytics packages that are on the market. So we're all familiar with Google. Google represents somewhere between 70 to 80% of all the searches that are carried out in this country, and therefore that's why it's bigger over there. You'll notice Bing, some of you may have already seen that, it's Microsoft's service offering, and we've also got Yahoo. And interestingly, in the early part of next year, Bing will be taking over Yahoo, and the Yahoo algorithm will disappear in favour of Microsoft's Google killer. Well, we'll see what happens there. So just to get you started really on the key phrase side of things, we'll take a look at some examples and we'll get you moving. So key phrase is very, very important to you. If you don't know what you need to be found for, how are you going to get found for it? It might sound like a silly thing, but does somebody want to volunteer a phrase that they might want to be found for? Gentleman already there. Surfing in Newquay. Okay, so if we do a search for something like surfing Newquay, you'll see we have a number of different results here. We've got what are referred to as local results, delivered by Google. This is searchinggoogle.co.uk. These are free. And we've also got natural results here. Google refer to these as natural, organic, non-paid, editorial and free listings, just to confuse you. And then we've got the paid side of things here. What I'll be talking about for this afternoon will be these areas here. So, key phrase, are people searching for surfing in Newquay? Are they looking for what you've got on offer? How do we work that out? So we often jump to certain conclusions about what people might be searching for, but Google and the other search engines do offer a key phrase research tool. We've only got 20 minutes to talk today, so there's a lot of supporting material that's available on our site, and we can email it to you. There'll be a link at the end of the presentation. But we can use a tool such as this to look at a search like surfing Newquay and see if anybody's actually searching for it. And this will look at real data, and it will tell us how many people, on average, roughly a month, are looking for something to do with surfing Newquay. And actually, if we look at surfing Newquay, there are less people searching for surfing Newquay than are actually looking for Newquay surf. And you've got to start to try and understand what people might be looking for. So people might be looking for accommodation to come surfing. People might be looking for a surf forecast, a webcam. And we can use a tool like this to try and find the words that people are actually looking for. And then we can move on to changing the website so we include those words that people are actually looking for. So that's the very, very, very first thing, and is right at the heart of search engine optimization, knowing what you need to be found for. The other thing that's important to remember is you're not just looking at one word, you're looking at dozens of words, potentially hundreds. If we're looking at large e-commerce sites, many thousands or tens of thousands of words that you want to be found for. We're not looking at just your home page being found, we're looking at different pages on your site being found as well, so that's quite important. And when we go back and have a look at, so this is the worst mouse man in the world, it's a shiny piece of paper. So if we look here, we can see predominantly people's home pages appearing, we're not seeing, other than a surf forecast magic seaweed, here we're seeing a sub-page on the site, not the home page. So you'll find different examples of that for different key phrases, but if you've got a page on your site that is more relevant to that particular phrase, then you should concentrate the wording on that to make sure that that appears when we do a search first of all. So talking about structure of websites, it's important to make sure that your website is built properly. That's really down to web developers and designers to make sure that they're built, and most of them will work with a good online marketing company, I'm sure, to help make sure that they're built correctly. But the sort of things that we're looking for when we talk about a website that's built correctly, and here's one I've taken just randomly, we want to see things like search engine friendly URLs, search engine friendly page names. So it shouldn't just be a load of gobbledygook in there, it should be real words that people are really looking for. The page should display well, it should have plenty of text on it, it should have some nice images, it should look good. All these things do affect search engine positionings to a certain extent. So it's physically got to be built very well. Don't look at sites that are entirely built in Flash, let's say for example. Flash does have its uses, but it needs to be used in the right way. So search engine friendly page names or URLs. Don't make the sites entirely in Flash. There's something called an XML sitemap. It's a bit of a geeky technical phrase, but it's basically a file that tells the search engines about every page that exists on your website. Some you can get away with if you've just got a small site, just have one off, but if you've got a large site, this may need to be updated quite frequently. So ask your web developer to build one of those for you. All the major search engines look at them now. Google have their own editorial guidelines, and they're available in the support material to you as well.